First, I wanted to welcome you all today to Paladin Data Systems Law Enforcement webinar on officer liability and risk management for law enforcement organizations. I have with me today Juan Haley, Paladin's Vice President for Product Delivery and Program Manager for the ASMI platform. We're excited to introduce you today to what we're working on. To begin, I'd like to start with a little feedback we've been hearing from the field. From there, we'll talk a little bit more about how that translates into what we've developed into the ASMI platform. Then we'll go with a short walkthrough so you get a chance to look at the interface of ASMI. And then at the very end, we'll do a bit of Q&A. I'd just like to note again that you may submit any questions you may have during the presentation via the chat option at the bottom right corner of your screen. So let's go ahead and dive in. It's interesting for those of you who've been following the news that there's lots of news out there right now about police lawsuits. And as this summarizes, it's not if, but when talking about a lawsuit. Recently, we've had incidents in Tulsa, Oklahoma, the incidents obviously in Baltimore, Southern California's San Bernardino County, and others, all over the headlines. It's interesting, we live today in a lawsuit-centric society, a litigious society. So what Paladin Data Systems is striving to do with ASMI is to provide a tool that will help law enforcement agencies take proactive measures in preparation for such litigation, as opposed to simply a reactive response to the events that happen. Again, it's not if, but when a lawsuit is to come about. Here are a few of the challenges we've been hearing from the field as they relate to agencies attempting to manage the important training requirements they have today. I recently returned from a few different law enforcement conferences, and most everyone I spoke with talked about the many challenges they have in trying to manage all the special qualifications and training that are required to be tracked and managed within their departments. Here's just a few of the things that we've been hearing. Typically, just one or a few at most officers who are in charge of tracking and monitoring all of the training, the skills, and preparations for the officers within their department. Next, there's not much visibility, either from a management level, but also across the police force as well for this information. We're generally doing things the way we've been doing them for years, managing hard copy files in folders. And so if something gets taken out, gets lost, or simply doesn't make its way back into the file, how do you keep track of that information over time? In the agencies that have been tracking this information, we found they're using generally more static measures. Some have been using spreadsheets or perhaps a flat database file, and are just tracking very basic information. But what we're hearing is that there's not a lot of important cross information that's being managed. Or when information is managed, it's often very difficult to find that information within any sort of a timely manner. So in essence, there seems to be a bit more reactive nature towards what's happening today, rather than a preemptive preparation towards the management process from the very start. So when you talk about challenging things like qualifications, we hear that for the most part, those that are tracking this information, it's generally a check in a box, on a record, in a file. And what we say is that the difference between proficient and qualified personnel is very different and quite important. So what we have developed to wrangle in all these different issues is ASMI, to give you a platform and a way to proactively identify, develop, and maintain the best of both, qualified individuals with proficiency. So let's talk a little bit about ASMI. What is it? ASMI is a secure, cloud-based platform solution that's designed to help an agency track your personnel readiness, all aspects of it: training, testing, sharing, and reporting of that data. It allows organizations to think and prepare for things proactively, planning your workforce and looking for any holes or potential challenging areas. Certification tracking and a method to organize the skills and competencies that your organization has. So that is what ASMI is. So let's talk about ASMI, why you need it. That's always the question. We want to offer you a tool that's going to be able to allow you to do things like manage your training history for your force, give you a way to better manage the testing process using dashboards, full reporting capability. Importantly, the ability to give you email notifications if someone's certification or qualification is coming up. And in essence, to allow you to proactively manage the knowledge, skills, and abilities of your force. So that's just a little bit about the platform. What I'd like to do now, I'm going to hand this over to Juan Haley, Paladin's Vice President of Product Delivery, and he's going to offer you a quick look at the system interface, and then after we'll do a bit of Q&A from there. Juan, it's all yours.
All right, thank you, Terry. So, as Terry mentioned, my name is Juan Haley. I'm the Vice President here at Paladin Data Systems. I'm also the Software Product Manager of the ASMI product here. I'm going to kind of walk through a scenario here utilizing the ASMI tool. And ASMI has a command portal product, which is included with ASMI. When you purchase ASMI, you get the command portal as well. So what I'm doing right now is I'm logged into ASMI as a demonstration user. You're not seeing real data. Currently I'm showing the command portal. And in the command portal, I'm looking at the organization structure. As Terry had mentioned, is that there's a reporting component, obviously, to our product. And within this product, too, not only are you looking at individuals, but now you're looking at the organizations. You can aggregate that data of these individuals based on what organization they report to, and you just go right up to the very top of the organization. So in this particular example, I'm using San Diego Police Department, and I just chose one of the headquarters, the neighborhood policing here. And so I'm actually looking across the organization. As I said, it's demonstration data, so you don't see specific information loaded here, but I've identified here specific qualifications, certifications, and licenses that I wanted to manage and look across this particular organization. Now when I do that, notice backgrounds and recruiting. I'm a little concerned here, because I have a yellow and a red. Yellow on the Glock pistol and the M14 shotgun, I'm red. So I'm just going to drill down into this particular organization. Now when I did that, obviously I interacted with the report. These are literally reports, but within ASMI, this technology allows you to have these reports that are interactive, and you can actually have backing reports, and therefore as you drill down on a specific area of a report, you get the supporting report. And this is all part of ASMI. This is not something that we have to engineer. This is part of the product that you actually get. Now, I'm looking specifically at backgrounds and recruiting, that organization. And these are the individuals, the officers who make up this particular organization. And looking at basic post certificate, we're looking good there. But Glock pistol, well, there's a little concern here with Glock pistol, because I have quite a few people that are actually about to expire. These individuals are about to expire, and what it's showing in red, it's actually, or the yellow, is the actual number of days left until this particular qual expires. So I'm a little concerned with the fact that I have this many people about to expire. So let's look at, I'm going to look at another report too. Let's look at accreditation management. And here we see, again, expiring accreditations in the next 90 days. Another report, I just selected a different dashboard. And now I'm looking at Glock pistols here. I'm actually looking across all of San Diego Police Department. So I'm looking at personnel who are going to expire in the next 90 days. So here I see those same individuals, and I also see, well, Sergeant Rosses, and who I'm logged in as. So let's actually go into ASMI. I'm now in ASMI. I'm looking at my dashboard, but more importantly, I'm a little curious about the Glock pistol and seeing if individuals are scheduled. So I'll go to personnel, go to training, look at specific training events, and notice here we do have a Glock pistol live fire scheduled. It's scheduled to occur on June 10th. So I'm going to select this item. It's scheduled on June 10th. It's going to happen at 1 p.m. Let's kind of scroll down here. And here's the current attendees for this particular training event. Well, I'm seeing everyone on that first report, but I still don't see Les. There was an officer Les that was identified in the second report about to expire. And so let's add Les. So just simply do select. There he is. Okay. And save. Now it's scheduled again, and Les is in there. So great. Now, I have that now scheduled. Those officers should attend. I feel rather comfortable that I've mitigated some of this, the issues here. Once they attend this particular training, their accreditation for the Glock will be reinstantiated. So let's look at someone here. Let's look at personnel. And one of the people on that list was Max, Staff Sergeant Max. Notice this is Max here. Here's the Glock pistol. It does expire in 59 days. He is scheduled, though, for the Glock pistol fire. So I feel fairly confident that that will be mitigated, and that I don't have an issue in regards to the Glock pistol. Well, there was also some other issues on that specific report that I noted. Let's go back to that report. Now this is one view of that particular report, in which I'm looking at those particular qualifications, certifications, or licenses that I'm interested in. Well, I'm going to do just a slightly different variant of that same report, but in this I see more details. In this view here, I'm actually looking at the training that allows you to be qualified. And here, notice this is the same individuals, same training activities, but then the big training activities that need to occur for that particular, to earn these qual certs or licenses. And here, I see the M14 shotgun, I see that Lieutenant Hara has expired. I'm not too concerned with that. But this pending suspension, and I see Officer Lee has a pending suspension on this particular. Well, let's look at the details there. So I go back to ASMI. Let's go back to personnel. And here we select Officer Lee. And here's that actual pending suspension. Now, notice this is the dashboard. The dashboard looked very similar between both officers, Officer Max and Officer Lee, because this gives you a general understanding of the officers' training activities and current activities that they're doing to maintain their qualifications and maintain the current mitigation associated with risk for the police department and, of course, for the officers themselves. So let's select the suspension here. I see that it's okay, it's in progress. The suspension's in progress. It's awaiting the signer. Well, let's understand. Oh, here it is. So apparently it's proposed suspension due to multiple accidental fires with the shotgun itself. So there's some issues associated with Sarah here. So why don't we do this? Let's go back. Maybe she needs some training here. Let's have her go to Miramar's training and have her take a weapons course. Let's just go weapons safety. Now I know the fact that we have weapons safety training that occurs every so often, and it normally occurs on Fridays. So let's schedule her for weapons training, have her attend that at 1300. It's going to just be a one-day event. 1400. Let's save that. So now, if I go back to her dashboard, we see another weapons safety course. And not only do we see this, but actually Sarah was notified that she was assigned to this particular course, because this may assist with with the issues that we're seeing with that specific weapon. So what you notice here, this is the actual dashboard of an individual. And when we look at this information, we see all their certifications, qualifications, their medical certifications to maintain qualifications, their particular qualifications. Now if I even look, I'm going to go back, I'm going to go to the home screen. Me, Kevin Ross's. I'm going to look at my particular dashboard. Now you notice this is slightly different, because what I'm seeing as Kevin Ross's, I see notifications. Not only does ASMI email those notifications out to those individuals and even management, it also captures and displays that information here in the dashboard of the individual. So regardless of what officer is utilizing the tool set, they can always log in here and see this information, but they also receive those notifications. The intent of how we've engineered the product is that we don't want necessarily personnel having to navigate everywhere within the product just to identify what they need to be aware of. It's predominantly here on their dashboard. And they'll be able to utilize the dashboard to receive all that information. So notice we do have notifications, items that are requiring signature, personnel that have checked in, and again, these are just alerts. These are all the notifications that Kevin Ross's, Sergeant Ross's, would receive. Here on the active, we see awards, certificates, degrees, license quals, and again, medical certifications. What we saw in the reports, when we looked at reports in the command portal, you did note that you can aggregate the whole organization. You're able to see a bigger part and actually manage this information from a higher level. But of course, that information is provided by the fact that we manage just the individual personnel. And here we have Kevin Ross's again, but notice the police card, the Glock pistol, because we do note that Kevin was on the other report that identified that he needs to be trained within the next 59 days. or his particular qualification would expire. We see those items that are currently in training, the Glock pistol, items that are perishable skills. You can actually select these items and see the details of the training that has to occur. Here we see this particular lecture that has been completed, but this particular lecture, it's overdue. They have to redemonstrate. ASMI will manage all that. So if you have training that has to occur on a periodic basis, it allows you to manage it right through here, and in this, they'll get automatically notified when training is due, when they have to requalify, and if a license is about to expire. So ASMI encompasses and incorporates all these necessary activities that are currently performed manually through the organization. Once you set this up for one time in a master task list, then you assign this to all the personnel that need to abide by these rules, and then all of a sudden those individuals are well aware of the training that they need to do, and it's easily managed from the higher organization. So that's the demonstration for today, and now we're going to move on to questions. And I have a couple questions that I've received here. I'm going to go ahead and address those specific questions. It says, what hardware or software, it says and software, is required at our office? Now, ASMI is a cloud-based system, as Terry noted earlier. And as a cloud-based system, you'll notice here I'm just using Internet Explorer. And with our product, you can use Internet Explorer, Firefox, Chrome, a multitude of browsers, and actually versions of the browsers. It's interesting enough, with our product, what we have to do is we have to actually support multiple browsers, because this product is not only used by police departments, it's actually used by the Department of Defense. And that's an important note, because as a product that's used in the Department of Defense for security forces within the Department of Defense, within Navy, aviation maintenance, ordnance maintenance, and we follow the datums and the specific requirements, security requirements associated with the Department of Defense, and you're getting the exact same product. Nothing's changed with what we deploy at the Department of Defense and what we deploy out on the cloud. And specifically, we're using Amazon Web Services, Amazon's cloud, which meets federal standards as well. Got another question here. Where's the data stored? Well, the data is stored at the Amazon cloud. So it's secured, it follows all regulations associated with holding federal data, and it provides it should provide some comfort to your organization, because the data, we back it up, it's 99.9% available, and we would provide it back to you. If you ever choose not to use our services in this particular product, you can actually request the data. We will give that data to you free of charge. It's because it's your data, no problem. And in which then you could use that data and put it into a new product or manage it manually. Got another question here. What are the training requirements, and how long does it take to be trained, I assumed? With the product itself, we find that we could train our organizations, our police departments, it normally takes about 4 hours. We have a couple hour sessions, 2 hours, multiple sessions, 2 hour sessions. The most difficult aspect of the training is simply making sure that you understand how to navigate it and make sure you understand where information lies. You'll do notice that we've utilized a look and feel and behavior that is very friendly, easy to understand. That's one of the big advantages that we've done with the military. In the military, you have a lot of personnel that move in and out of these organizations. So as they move into organizations that are using ASMI, their data gets migrated. As they utilize the tool set, they need to become efficient with the product very quickly. So what we've done here is provided a product that allows you to understand screen layouts and understand how to navigate. And as a matter of fact, within the product, there's even a help program in which this particular help displays the information that you're seeing on the screen. You navigate, understand it, and not only that, we have a of course, our support desk that is available. How long does it take, another question here, how long does it take to deploy the product? Well, and it matters. We've done organizations within a couple days. We've done organizations that took, well, the Department of Defense, which it took probably about 3 months. So, you know, it simply matters the size of your organization. For us to actually get a site available and ready for you, it normally takes us about 10 minutes. Because it's a cloud-based solution, we have it already set up. We can instantly instantiate a new police department, and they can start utilizing the product within a matter of 10 minutes. But then normally what takes longer is obviously where we help configure it with you, and then we help migrate your data into the product. If you have it electronically, we can actually just migrate the data right into our product. But there's a multitude of solutions there to allow you to be highly successful with the product ASAP. Will ASMI send email notifications to the member if they are coming due for qualification or training? And yes, absolutely. We have not only will it do that, it will do this, because it has a notification capability, not only within the product itself, but obviously to do the email capability, to notify them by email, so they don't have to constantly log into the product to see what's coming due. But within the product, you can actually schedule your reports, so your reports can get emailed to you on a periodic basis, so you can get it every day, you can get it once a month, every first of the month. But with the product, we do offer the ability, and it's part of the product, you get it, that in which it will email you information, so that you don't have to constantly log into the product. I'm almost running short on time here, so if I don't get to your question, I do apologize. But let me answer one more before I turn it back to Terry. Would we be able to take information from our current access database and have that exported into the ASMI system? Yes, we've done this many of times, both Access and even other solutions as well, where we've received the information and we've received a schema data set, and we've actually then taken that data set, imported it into our product, that data set, so you're not starting this from nothing. You don't have to hand jam all this information into ASMI if you have that information in electronic form. So that's not an issue. We would just work with you to make sure that we understand what product you used in the past, how you have this information stored, and how you manage that information so that we can make you, again, successful as quick as possible. I apologize, I don't have time to answer these other questions here, but I will turn it, at this point, turn it over to Terry. If you need further answers, we will answer the questions in a follow-up email, and we'll allow you to be successful. So, Terry, take it away.
Thank you, Juan. Appreciate that. Great information. Any of you that have any questions, you're certainly welcome to contact me. My email is listed there on the Q&A page. You're welcome to give me a call. My direct number is area code 360-394-5970. But again, just to be mindful of your time, I would appreciate all of your time today. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer those for you offline. Or if you'd like a deeper dive into the system, I'd be happy to schedule for you a separate demo where we can talk a little bit more about your specific organization and any of the challenges that you might have. But again, thank you all for your time today. Feel free to contact me with any questions that you may have in follow-up, and I wish you a great rest of your day. Thanks.